When was the last time you entered a room and asked yourself a question? What am I doing here? Or an instance where you got confused with the name and place and faces? Or probably missed out watching my videos before? In that case, a sub to the channel and a hit on the bell icon will be brilliant.
Well, we all have been in such situations and have always blamed ourselves for not being able to reproduce any information required at that instance. Virtually, no one has a photogenic memory. It's all that what we take to remember and recollect. So, are we having a short-term memory or is it something else? Let's find out. Before taking a plunge and criticizing our memory, we need to know how we process information. Basically, information processing, acquiring, storing, retaining and retrieving is what we call as memory, and it happens at three levels or three categories. One is the sensory memory, second is the short-term memory, and third is long-term memory. And today we'll try to focus only on the short-term memory and how we can target to acquire more of our short-term memory losses. Well, I am not denying that we have other types of memory such as episodic memory, autobiographic memory, spatial memory, schematic memory, etc. But today, we'll first talk about short-term memory. In one way, we can say that short-term memory is something for the brain, like for us, it's a post-it notes, as it holds small amounts of information, roughly around 7 to 8 items, and is readily available for a brief period of 15 seconds. Short-term memory has a limited capacity, and Miller in his experiments in 1956, which today we call as Miller's law, where he suggested that any information can be stored in the short-term memory between the numbers of 5 to 9, and this is called as magical number. So 7 plus 2 for people who are really intelligent and minus 2 for people who have difficulty in recollecting the information was known as the Miller's magic number. So forgetting to recollect or unable to recollect for this short period of time means that your brain has stopped carrying information and it has failed to transmit that information. So can we actually improve our short-term memory? Not really. It is difficult to improve the amount of information that can be fed to the brain. And this information cannot be crossing Miller's magic number. That is, it cannot go more than 9, and at the best you can recollect 5. But I know you are not here for this, but rather to increase your brain's capacity. So here are a few tricks which you can actually use to recollect your short-term memory informations. First one is rehearsal. Repeating any information over a period of time can improve its retention on the later stages. This generally happens when we are getting prepared for our exams. The previous night we try to do the same thing again and again and again, and then slowly by end of the next day we just try to put everything on the paper, and once you're off the paper then you don't remember what exactly you wrote in your exams. So this is one type of a rehearsal. Second is chunking. Organizing the information into meaningful groups helps you to recall better. For example, let's consider the telephone number, which is basically very difficult to remember. So here is the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Individually you might mess up, but grouping them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 will be more effective. In the same classification of chunking, you can also do something called as mnemonics. Especially if you are a doctor, you are aware of this mnemonics because we have done a lot of them. But for the general public, I think you definitely know about this. My very educated mother just show us 9 planets. These are the mnemonics which we use for remembering all the planets in the solar system. My very educated mother just show us 9 planets. Along with acronyms and mnemonics, you can also use music to help you retain your memory. You can also build a connection, a story, or some kind of a link from your previous information to the next information. So a story is very helpful in retaining our information. So don't read your book as reading a book, rather read it as a story. This can happen even with your science textbook and to the general knowledge which you see in your day-to-day life. Apart from them, the usual suspects which I always keep telling: a good exercise, meditation, sleep, healthy diet with low sugar, low alcohol, low salts will also improve your brain functions and overall brain's health. And if you need this information for a longer time, convert this short-term memory to the long-term memory by paying attention and remembering it. Relating it to the current existing information, repeat the information and recall it in a period of time. Prompt retrieval of the previous knowledge or information reduces memory decay. Keep the brain active by doing stimulative activities like that of Sudoku. And finally, write it down, but don't forget where you wrote it down. With these steps, I hope you retain your information for a longer duration. See you around. In the coming more weeks, we'll try to decode our brain's process. Till then, take care. See you around.